Are you vulnerable to being affected by others' negative energy? Learn what to do in the face of your own and others' negative energy. Many people are asking how to avoid the negative energy. You can't. What you can do is learn to lovingly manage it so that it doesn't affect you so much. Many people have negative energy. They are closed, hard, angry, withdrawn, anxious, stressed, blaming, resentful, irritated, hurt, judgmental, and so on. Their negative energy is theirs. It has nothing to do with you, but they may be directing it toward you, just as you might do when you are in your ego-wounded self. When people are stuck in their ego-wounded selves, they tend to dump their negative energy onto others as a way of dealing with it. This can happen anytime, when you are with another person or out in public. If you are not aware of it, you can get zapped by someone's negative energy, even while shopping at a supermarket. Someone you don't know might glare at you for any number of reasons: jealousy, neediness, or because you remind them of someone they resent. Or you might be the one doing the zapping without realizing it. More common are negative energy dumps with people you know, your partner, child, parent, boss, co-worker, or best friend. You might feel it as a clenching in your stomach or a tightness in your heart. These feelings are letting you know that you have been zapped with negative energy or that you are dumping negative energy onto others. The challenge here is twofold: becoming aware of sending negative energy to others and becoming aware of negative energy being sent to you. Both of these are handled by the same choice, the choice of compassion. Compassion is an extremely powerful energy, far more powerful than any negative energy that you can send out or that can be sent to you. Imagine negative energy as a dark room. Imagine compassion as a brilliant light. The moment you turn on a light in a dark room, the darkness is gone. The light is far more powerful than the darkness. Compassion is like this. Its powerful energy is like a shield of light that can protect you from negative energy. However, the key is that the compassion has to be for yourself first, bringing powerful compassionate energy to your stomach, solar plexus, or heart. Then you can open to learning about what this energy is telling you. Instantly, you can know if you are being zapped or if you are zapping. If you are being zapped, you can extend the compassion outward toward the other person, which forms a protective shield of compassion around you. Now the negative energy bounces off as if it is hitting a bubble. You are inside the compassion bubble, safe from any negative energy. With practice, you can be in this state even before any negative energy comes your way. When you are consistently operating as a loving and connected adult, connected with your higher self, and consistently bringing through compassion to your feelings, you can reach a point where you are not projecting out negative energy, and you don't even feel the zap of another's negative energy. Someone can be sending you negative energy, but it bounces off your compassion bubble without it going into your body at all. You can be aware of the negative energy and send compassion to the other person, but you are unaffected by it. We all need to be aware of how profoundly energy can affect us and others. We need to be aware of the energy we are sending out, and we need to be taking loving care of ourselves so that we are not receiving others' negative energy. You can certainly choose to not spend a lot of time with negative people, but everyone will likely have some negative energy at times. Consistently practicing staying present with your feelings will help you to remain inwardly peaceful in the face of others' negative energy and will support you staying in a loving adult state so that you are not sending negative energy to others. Here are 7 ways of how to have the compassion to avoid the negative energy. Number 1. Set and enforce limits. Negative people who wallow in their problems and fail to focus on solutions are hard to deal with. They want people to join their 24/7 pity party so they can feel better about themselves. And you may feel pressured to listen to their complaints simply because you don't want to be seen as callous or rude, but there's a fine line between lending a compassionate ear and getting sucked into their negative emotional drama. You can avoid this drama by setting limits and distancing yourself when necessary. Think of it this way. If a negative person were chain-smoking cigarettes, would you sit beside them all day, inhaling their second-hand smoke? No, you wouldn't. You'd distance yourself. So go ahead and give yourself some breathing room when you must. If distancing yourself is impossible in the near term, another great way to set limits is to ask a negative person how they intend to fix the problem they're complaining about. Oftentimes they will either quiet down or redirect the conversation in a more harmonious direction, at least temporarily. Number 2. Respond mindfully, don't just react. A reaction is a hot, thoughtless, in-the-moment eruption of emotion that's usually driven by your ego. As human beings, we're more likely to react when we're disconnected from our logical mind. It might last just a split second before your intuition kicks in and offers some perspective, or it might take over to the point that you act on it. When you feel angry or flustered after dealing with a negative person, that's a sign you've reacted rather than responded mindfully. Responding mindfully will leave you feeling like you handled things with integrity and poise. Bottom line. When you encounter someone with a negative attitude, don't respond by throwing insults back at them. Keep your dignity and don't lower yourself to their level. True strength is being bold enough to walk away from the nonsense with your head held high. Number 3. Introduce lighter topics of discussion. Some people's negative attitudes are triggered by specific, seemingly harmless topics. For example, one of your friends turns into a very toxic self-victimizer whenever we talk about his job. No matter what you say, he'll complain about everything related to his job, and when you try to interject with positive comments, he just rolls right over them with more negativity. Obviously, this becomes quite a conversation dampener. If you find yourself in a similar conversational situation and the person you're talking with is stuck on a topic that's bringing you down, realize their negative emotions may be too deeply rooted to address in a one-off conversation. Your best bet is to introduce a new topic to lighten the mood. Simple things like funny memories, mutual friendships, personal success stories, and other kinds of happy news make for light conversation. Keep it to areas the person feels positive about. Number 4. Focus on solutions, not problems. Where and how you focus your attention determines your emotional state. When you zero in on the problems you're facing, you create and prolong negative emotions and stress. When you shift your focus toward actions that can improve your circumstances, you create a sense of self-efficacy that yields positive emotions and reduces stress. People who manage their lives effectively are generally those who work internally. For example, those who know that success and well-being comes from within. Negative people generally work externally. They blame others or outside events for everything that does or doesn't happen. When your sense of satisfaction and self-worth are derived from the opinions of others, you are no longer in control of your own happiness. Know this. When emotionally strong people feel good about something they've done, they don't let anyone's shallow opinions or spiteful remarks take that away from them. Truth be told, you're never as good as everyone says when you win, and you're never as terrible as they tell you when you lose. The important thing is what you've learned and what you're doing with it. Number 6. Let go of the desire to change other people's negative tendencies. Some people you can help by setting a good example, others you can't. Recognize the difference, and it'll help maintain your equilibrium. Don't be taken in by the energy vampires, manipulators, and emotional blackmailers by desperately trying to control what is out of your control, other people's behavior. With that said, if there's a specific behavior someone you love has that you're hoping changes over time, it probably won't. If you really need them to change for some substantial reason, be honest and put all the cards on the table so this person knows how you feel and why. For the most part though, you can't change people and you shouldn't try. Either you accept who they are, or you choose to live without them. It might sound a bit harsh, but it's not. When you try to change people, they often resist and remain the same. But when you don't try to change them, when you support them and allow them the autonomy to be as they are, they gradually change in the most miraculous way. Because what really changes is the way you see them. Number 7. Dedicate ample time every day to self-care. You do not have to neglect yourself just because others do. Seriously, if you're forced to live or work with a negative person, then make sure you get enough alone time to rest and recuperate. Having to play the role of a focused, rational adult in the face of persistent negativity can be exhausting, and if you're not careful, the negativity can consume you. Negative people can keep you up at night as you constantly question yourself. Am I doing the right thing? Am I really so terrible that they speak to me like that? I can't believe he or she did that. I'm so hurt. Thoughts like these can keep you agonizing for weeks, months, or even years. Sadly, sometimes this is the goal of a negative person, to drive you crazy and bring you down to their level of thinking, so they're not wallowing alone. And since you can't control what they do, it's important to take care of yourself so you can remain centered, feeling healthy and ready to live positively in the face of their negativity when you must. Although it can be hard to admit, sometimes the negative person is you. Sometimes it's your own negativity that hurts you more than anything else. If your inner critic is trying its hardest to get the best of you, try giving up all the thoughts and contemplations that make you feel bad, or even just some of them, for the rest of the day. See how doing that changes your life. You don't need these negative thoughts. All they have ever given you is a false self that suffers for no reason.